안녕, 엘라. 와, 아, 아, okay. So Ella and Mai is here, right?
Yes. Hi, Direct.
Yep. Uh, I don't think I saw you, Ella. Actually, I went to Mindanao in 2015, right? You was not a member of the
Okay.
right?
Actually, I started in Apat sa Taglamig 2016.
Okay.
Yes, so we didn't meet.
Okay. Hi, Yancy. Oh, hi, Kira.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Good. Hmm. Ooh. Uh, Mai, say something. I'm nervous. Make me relax. Yeah, I will. Yeah. Ah, okay. Okay, Yancy, are, are you the member of AST also?
Yes, Direct Kim. Hello. So I've been part of the AST for almost 6 years, I guess.
Oh, 16 years?
6 years, Direct Kim.
Oh, 6
Six.
years. Okay, 6. Yeah. So from 1916, you mean? You also?
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
I went there in May.
What was that, Direct Kim?
Coronado
I'm sorry.
City.
Yeah.
I went to Coronado City.
Oh.
Yeah, at that year.
So how was Coronado City, Direct Kim?
Oh, it was beautiful. I love the Filipino traditional arts, all those dances and theater. Hi, Javier. Hey.
Kevin. Hello, Direk.
Hey.
Good afternoon from the Philippines.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
Hi, Marjorie.
Yes, sir. Sorry. I'm late. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ted.
Hello po. Sorry I'm late.
Good. So everyone is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I think 3 more people, right? Wow. Mhm. So we are waiting for Biko, right? Mary Grace, right? It's not here. Moy. Is Moy here? No. Mhm. Uh, Mm. Ah, hi, Grace.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Mhm. Ah, uh, everyone bring the narratives, the stories. Right. Thank you. Wow. I'm gonna check the files. Okay. Ah, okay. This is a photo of the Tawit. Okay. I think it's 2014. The in the Incheon Bilingual Theater Festival. So the Filipino teams performed the play Tawit. So should I start? Oh, Miko is here. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Uh, then let's start the class.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. I'm gonna explain what I'm trying to do with this program. This narrative. Yeah. What is narrative? I looked up the dictionary, the Oxford English Dictionary. The definition in the Oxford English Dictionary, there's three definition. A spoken or written account of connected event, a story. The practice or art of telling stories, a representation of a particular situation or process in such a way as to reflect or conform to an overarching set of aims or values. I searched internet also. I found some ideas of others. So a narrative is a choice of which events to relate in what order to relate them. So it is a representation or specific manifestation of the story rather than the story itself. Another one. A narrative turns a story into information, or better, into knowledge for the recipient, the audience, or reader. Each story event is a unit of knowledge the audience requires. Yeah. All those ideas I found on from the bimgym.com. I don't know what the organization is, though. So, and another one, a narrative may present the events of the story in linear, that is to say, chronological order or not. But story remains the story, even if it is told backward. And that's the easy way to remember the difference between story and narrative. If you reshuffle the order of events, you are changing the narrative, the way you tell the story. And perhaps its premise too. But you're not changing the story itself. Do you agree with these ideas? I kind of agree with them. But however, the difference between me and them is that I try to adapt the this to the theater. I'm not referring only to the territory of playwright. I try to use narrative technique in every field, like directing or acting. Normally, in modern theater, directing or acting uses a technique of analyzing existing text and realizing them on the stage. However, what I think of is not that kind of analyzing, but the acting skills that make stories by connecting a character's state or some events using composition. And I guess I can use narrative techniques when doing this. I'll talk about the motive of this idea later on. Simply, I think the narrative is storytelling. Also, it is performing arts as kind of archetypal form. The narrative is to tell a story by designing it in one's own way. The narrative is what arts of various genres include. And also, it is an artistic form by itself. In the paintings of painters, we can find narrative elements as well as buildings or forms. As a yeah, it's a well-known painting, right? And this painting has some kind of, visual narrative in it. I once used that painting, my actors and actresses mimicking the paint, and that says nothing. But all the audiences understand what's going on, right? Yes. There are parts where all art genres share ideas. We call these elements archetype. The art genres in the archetypal forms are hard to categorize into the genre categories we have these days. Yeah. This is traditional Korean performing arts. Or talshow.
술사연유의 대천명이요 봉제사연유의 적빈객이라 하였으니 그렇지 술사 한 마디 들어가오. 어이? 짐승 나쁘라. 그럼 어디 한번 물어보자. 네가 노루냐? 네가 바로 사자다. 저는 좋은 풍악수에
Talchum in English can be translated into masked dance or masked theater. Is it a dance or a theater? Okay. This is Pansori.
고맙습니다.
You saw this
덥고
on
그리고 아주
on
그
the
지수가 높은
presentation,
날인데도 불구하고 이렇게 많이
the
와주셔서 감사를
Jiyoung
드립니다.
Kim
더워서도
conducted
힘들고
last night.
연습을 많이
right?
해도 힘들고 부족해도 힘들고 어째 이렇게 소리 길은 멀고도 험한지 모르겠어요.
So
오늘 와
와주신
This is the
분들의
actual,
격려,
the pansory
형제를
performance.
제가 힘이 있고 잘 못하더라고요. 이런 모지고 어둠이 세상 천 사일생이지 누가 뽑아라. 내 갓 좀 내요. 갓을 어디다 두었어? 풀숲 속에다 두었지.
네,
아이고 여보 영감 갓을 어찌 풀숲 속에다
So it's a one-man drama. A person actually one character, one person drama. A person sings doing storytelling or dancing simply to restrict it. Yeah. And then I'm going to show you another form.
살아보자 보자 사대의 사방하 물을 맡겨주시고 물을 맡겨주냐세 오늘
This is 별신굿. It is a kind of ritual. It is the most archetypal form of performing arts. As this a play or a dance or a religious ritual, it is hard to distinguish. Each art genre has made some development form for a long time. They've achieved the kind of development. However, if artistic development cannot be made by being stuck in those forms, we need to look back on the art genres in the past. That is to say, we need to look back on the archetypal things that penetrate the past and the present. We call performances, happenings, events, all these kinds of forms avant-garde art. The term avant-garde implies the meaning of going forward. But these forms do not only imply the meaning of going to the future. Many of the parts, they are trying the forms that could easily be found in arts of a certain genre in the past. The narrative is a very element of the archetypal forms and the archetypal form of art genres. Okay. Oh, I stopped. Okay. From one story, different narratives can be made from different narrators according to each narrator's disposition. And also, a narrative by one narrator can be depicted in various forms according to his or her current state. That is why narrative is a significant artistic tool to me, who thinks diversity is the best artistic value to pursue for myself. At this point, diversity has a close relation to the idea of archetype, being typo makes it possible to cross the boundaries between genres and to make various attempts. Oh. My motive of focusing on narrative. Yeah. Yeah. I've tried collaborative creation using narrative techniques since 2017. The motive was that I saw the actors I worked with worrying that they cannot be the characters, even though they thought they should be, to act truthfully too many times. And that I felt harder and harder to see them worrying. However, an actor cannot be a character. It is because an actor is not a sorcerer. For example, thinking that I became Juliet is wrong from the beginning. And it is the body of the actor that knows the fact best. The moment all actor feels like acting isn't going as well as thought, that actor becomes increasingly difficult to communicate with the director and becomes isolated. Later, the actor gets to the situation saying, "Director, tell me what should I do? I'll do as you order." As a director, I also feel a sense of shame, thinking, I'm a bad director who ruins my actors. That made me think of making the performance delivering a story through objectified narrative, not focusing on the subject feeling at the first time when making the actor's performing states. First of all, the script was a cause that locks up the actors in the prison of subject feelings. In the process of analyzing the textualized stories and making them their own, there comes a sense of separation between the actors and actresses themselves. Natural man and woman as natural man and woman, and the characters. And in the process of denying it, the actors and actresses become isolated. From this, I chose to learn about various people and events through research and interviews without any script. Create each actor's and actress's narrative from the things we learned by maximizing the storytelling skills of actors and actresses, and make creative performances by parallelizing these with the main story. It is a methodology that aims for approaching the performing stage through composition, not through an analytical perspective. The actors build the states without falsehood, knowing that they are not more than narrators telling the story as actors themselves. Not acting out, believing that they are the characters. That is the moment the actors become free. It is more likely that more effective results are achieved when creating a point where the actors and the audiences sympathize with the emotions of the characters in the story while telling or listening to a sad or joyful story. rather than forcefully creating emotions such as sadness or joy. For this, actors shouldn't act as accessories to the work, but make a part of the work while maintaining the actor's own singularity. Each one of the singularity gathers and completes the whole story. So recently, I tend to use the words singularities instead of diversity or variety. Through these works, I shifted from dominating director to the one who observes, listens, and guides directions. It is a work that every storyteller builds one epic through the process of democratic collaboration. It is the objective of the narrative techniques to share and experience these ideas with you and make a collective narrative with various artists with different languages. And the concrete form of that objective is the Babel project. Wow. Yeah. Ooh. Performance as a collective narrative made by gathering narratives with the uniqueness of each told by narrators with their own uniqueness can be extremely confusing. To keep the story going on without losing its way, despite this, there needs a never-shaking reference point. Every play is a travel story and a growth story at the same time. Therefore, there must be some kind of a book of journey. The largest information that can be written in that book is the destination and time. Characters of each play happen to grow through that journey. This kind of dramatic structures can be found in various types of stories as archetypal forms for all times and places. Yeah, Jesus Christ realized his mission as a son of God through the journey of being tested in the wilderness for 40 days. Also in Korean mythologies, most of the stories of God are the ones in which characters who were nothing take their places as a god through a journey of mythological tests. Moreover, Greek tragedies have structures where the characters, swayed by their fate, realize the truth through some processes. We can make stories by connecting stories of different times and countries that can be achieved by the interconnection of archetypal elements of these stories. However, the process of connecting numerous stories can be quite complex process. So that is why we should have a reference point to keep the story from losing its way. You may have heard the word Marvel Cinematic Universe. The old-time Greek culture content was made by setting the time and place where the characters in comics created by different writers can meet together and by making relationships among them. Maybe the work we are about to do can have the same system as MCU. The reason we can see those works without making the audience get tired of them, despite Marvel's making a lot of hero movies, is that even though every story is connected as MCU, each work makes different styles of narratives by different directors. That is, narratives with singularities told by narrators with singularity build one collective narrative connected as a theatrical universe we made. In the case of the Babel project, every story can be connected through the physical place, the orbit of the comet Halley, and the comet's time circling every 76 years. This is our book of the journey and our reference point. To do this work, first of all, everyone in this project has to build their own narrative. It is to build organized narratives in your own right by searching your inner self and finding the stories just like yourself and finding various stories through research or interview. And meanwhile, I hope that we all can share the theatrical universe. I'm not a great person that can teach you. I propose this training program because I just want to share the idea I have, and I I propose this training program because I just want to share the ideas I have, and I want for you to share the ideas you have. I have been in charge of the chairman of the organization in the Incheon Bilingual Theater Festival since 2013. But I'm not a linguistic genius, as you see right now. And I don't want to make our theater festival a competition field for linguistic geniuses. The purpose of our theater festival is in making a world in which ordinary people living in each language work together to develop and prosper together without falling behind anyone or any country. And the Babel project is one of the devices to achieve that purpose. The first Babel project was an anti-racism workshop. Our theater festival is open for anyone to participate in. However, those who stand for racism can't. In 2018, when we first started the Babel project with the theater artists of the Philippines, Vietnam, Russia, Germany, and Korea, we declared, let's go slowly, not to let the people next to us fall behind. Let's talk as slowly as possible for the understanding of everyone. If there is anything I understood, let's inform and share the understanding with the people beside us. Let's go together so that no one falls behind. We declared that we shouldn't just talk about the performance of the moment, but try to make a world where we can enjoy a slightly better life without letting anyone on us be in an unfortunate situation. this is the spirit of the Babel project. The Babel project, our network performance might go through a long and difficult process. We might not be satisfied by the outcome. However, if we keep trying to connect without giving up, we'll get the outcome of our own. I'll keep going on the Babel project until we build the concrete system like MCU. Okay. Oh, it's what I'm trying to do with this program. Okay. I've been torturing you too much time, right? So let's have a little break time. Okay.
Okay, so.
Okay. Okay. Now let's have 15-minute break.